Jenna Harris, Joe Porter. As I read your name, can you please stand up so everybody sees you? Jenna Harris, Joe Porter, Kevin Miles, Ross Edward, Coach Sanchez, and the 88-89 men's track team. All right, our inductees have richly contributed to our athletics program, our school, and our community in such a way that we are honored to celebrate them. The Franklin High School Athletic Hall of Fame Committee is organized as a way maintaining the rich heritage and tradition of successful athletic programs here at Franklin High School. In addition, the Franklin High School Athletic Hall of Fame Committee serves as a way of recognizing, preserving, honoring the athletes, coaches, and teams and individuals who've made these contributions. Many individuals have been influential in building and sustaining the Warrior tradition of excellence and have had exemplary accomplishments in athletics. The Franklin High School Athletic Hall of Fame honors their contributions and accomplishments of these individuals who are worthy of recognition as examples to emulate for our student athletes that are here today, in the high school today.
Once again, good afternoon. Before I begin, I just want to say welcome our past inductees. So if our past inductees, will you please stand? I know some of you are in attendance today. This is actually our third Hall of Fame ceremony, but this is our second consecutive one. So we're excited to get this going again. So without all of your support, this cannot be possible. So on behalf of Franklin High School administration, faculty, staff, and student body and community, we'd like to congratulate each inductee. You represent a very select and prestigious group of individuals who were chosen by their school community for recognition of their athletic arena. You have left a legacy with Franklin High School. You know, being a former athlete, I know the time, I know the amount of effort you put into all the things that you've accomplished, and it's great. I'm so glad and proud that from a former alumni here at Franklin High School, I should say, that we can do something like this. I know this means a lot to so many people, and so congratulations to all of you. This induction ceremony provides us with one more opportunity for Franklin High School's new community to honor all of you, and you have given and continue to give to so many. Please enjoy. I hope you can enjoy the special recognition that you so richly deserve. So we're going to begin our program. Once again, congratulations to all of you. Thank you, families who've traveled near and far to attend. We know we're going to continue to grow our Hall of Fame program each year, and we're so excited about the inductees that are going to be honored here this afternoon. So congratulations, and let's begin with a little video tribute. A little technical difficulty with the sound.
right into our program and start with introducing Miss Heidi Kiernan, who couldn't be here with us today, but we do have Miss Judy Butler, who is going to present her and say a few words about her. So give a round of applause for Miss Judy Butler.
I first have to thank you all for finding that picture from 1812 in there. I can talk forever about Heidi. She was an athlete that you couldn't put a person together any better as far as athletically than Heidi. And what was special to me is not only did she play for me, she coached under me, and then she went to Rutgers Prep. And two stories that she said, please don't tell that I am. Heidi would not pay attention when I was coaching third base, and she came flying around the field one day, around the bases, and I'm going, stop, stop. And she kept going in, and she had dived back into the base. And I said to her, use your head for something more than a hat rack. So from that point on, that was her nickname, Hat Rack. And the other thing is that after she coached under me, she went to Rutgers Prep, as I said, as a softball coach. And when she had her first baby, she sent over a picture of Walter with her when he was first born. So I hung it in the office, and she would come to see me once in a while. We'd talk coaching stuff. And she said, take that picture down. I said, Heidi, I'll take that picture down when you beat me. So it took her 4 seasons at Rutgers Prep, but I had to take the pictures down. I'd like to just give you some of her stats that are unbelievable. She was 4 years in the varsity club, junior year secretary, and senior year president. She played 4 years varsity softball, sophomore year, all conference, all county, all state. Junior year, all conference, all county, all state. Senior year, captain, MVP, all conference, all county, all state, and we were the conference champions that year. She also played varsity basketball and varsity skiing, and played 4 years varsity softball. In her freshman year, she was all conference, all county, all state, and our team was ranked number 16 in the state. Sophomore year, all conference, all county, all state. Junior year, captain, all conference, all county, all state, and we were the county and conference champions. Senior year, captain, all conference, all county, all state, and we were the #1 team in the state. And we were also the Group 4 state finalists, and we lost 1-0 in that last game, which I'll never forget, but okay. She went to Bowling Green University, and she received a 4-year scholarship for field hockey. Or she received a 4-year scholarship, and it was a combo softball and field hockey. And I went home from school, and I answered the phone. It was her, and she was hysterical. And I said, what's wrong? She said that the softball coach told me I was too heavy and too slow to play. So my heart broke for her as well as hers was broken. So I said to her, go out for field hockey. And she ended up with a 4-year scholarship for field hockey. And then the coach left, the softball coach left. She got on the team and ended up, and I'll tell you what she did. She had the 4-year scholarship. Freshman year, I explained to you. Sophomore year, she tried out for softball because the field hockey team was dropped. But they honored her scholarship. The junior year, softball captain played third base and catcher. They had an NCAA appearance, and she was ranked top 8 golfer at Bowling Green University. And her senior year, she was ranked the top 6 golfer. Softball again, played third base, and she caught, and she had another NCAA appearance. And this is her teaching coaching career. After graduation, she returned to Franklin High School as a substitute teacher and became my freshman softball coach. And I have to say that anybody who's a coach knows you go to clinics, and if you can pick up one idea, that's wonderful. A lot of it you've heard before, but you learn from your other coaches that you deal with. And Heidi said something to me that you know, it was so simple and so smart. When we were trying to teach the kids, I think it was some throwing technique. She said, Coach, turn around, you're right-handed, turn around and try to throw left-handed, and you'll see where their abilities are lacking, because that's how you would be if you didn't know what you were doing. And that helped me tremendously with my girls. But I want to she taught at Rutgers Prep from '86 to 2009. As a coach, she won 13 state championships, 5 times in soccer, 2 times in volleyball, 6 times in softball. She was the coach of the year 4 times, 2 times in field hockey, 2 times soccer, and 2 times in softball. And I have to say she was one of the best athletes I've ever had the pleasure to coach, including all of you guys that are here. These are tennis and softball girls that were magnificent people. Thank you.
All right, our next inductee will be Jenna Harris, but she'll be presented by her brother, Chris Harris.
How y'all doing? All right, so when Jenna asked me to introduce her, I was thinking, like, I didn't know what I was going to talk about, especially because I was away for so much of her high school career and college, so I didn't get to see as many of her meets as I would have liked. And it's crazy, like, for those of y'all that don't know, I teach public speaking out in Las Vegas now, right? But it's been a while since I've had to give a speech like this. So I just thought, like, I would tell a couple of stories, brief stories, just to kind of let you know what type of athlete I thought Jenna was. I remember being a junior or a sophomore, and I remember being a junior or a sophomore, and I was down in Hampton University, and my father called me on the phone, and we were just talking, and he was just like, hey man, like, your sister is up here doing her thing on this track, right? And I just remember, you know, I'm playing football in college, and we did a lot of winning when I was here during my era. So I was like, hey, she's probably doing, she all right, you know, she's probably doing her thing, right? And I just remember thinking, like, all right, that's cool, that's cute that she's doing her track thing, right? So I was home that summer, and for those of you guys who know how it is in our town, because it's such a sports town, like when you're a good athlete, sometimes you go to, you know, like Burger King, McDonald's or something, and somebody slides you an extra hamburger, to kind of show love, right? So I go into a drugstore, and I got a whole bunch of stuff, like I'm home, I'm standing, and I need to pick up a whole bunch of like just items. I go to the register, and the clerk looks at all my stuff, and he goes, oh, you're Jenna Harris's brother. No charge. So then I started thinking, I'm like, is she really up here? Like, maybe she really is up here doing her thing, right? And eventually I transferred out of Hampton back to Rutgers, and so I was home for a little bit, so I got to come to some of the meets. And I remember going to, the first meet I got to see her, I went to the county meet, I want to say over in Boundbrook. And I mean, what I saw that day was, it was amazing. Like, it left me in awe. It was, every race was 7 women high school athletes and Flojo, right? Like, during the era that we came through, like Nick Seard, Bruce Seard, Carlton, we did a lot of winning, right? We won a lot of championships, right? But what I saw that day was dominance, right? There's a difference between dominance and winning. Like, this was dominance, right? 100-meter dash, she's beating people by 6-7 strides. Like, I can't, it's like hard to put into words, but I was just so impressed and so proud of her, seeing her go out there and kick tail like that, right? And fast forward, she's at Ohio State, and you know, Big Ten, you know, all scholarship athletes, people at the top of their game from around the country. I go to the Big Ten meets. I want to say her sophomore year, your sophomore year. And she went out there, same thing, dominance over these people from all around the country. And it taught me a lesson, it humbled me, right? Because, you know, when you come from Franklin, you're a good athlete, you got a certain swagger to you, but let me know, like, you are nowhere near the best athlete in your family. So, and it's interesting, you know, because time goes by, and I was kind of reminded of that dominance a couple of years ago, we were helping my mother get ready to move out of our house. And we had called Jenna, like, well, what do you want? What do you want us to bring? She's like, I know it's gonna be tough, but can you guys pack up like my medals and my trophies? Right? So we're like, all right, cool. Not having gone to look and see what this was really gonna take, right? So we opened the closet in her bedroom, and I'm talking about full, not regular for your kitchen trash can, trash bags. I'm talking about those big black bags that you put the leaves in. Just full of medals and trophies, and it was crazy. I almost hurt my back trying to carry the stuff out the closet. And I'm like laughing, like I know I'm getting older, but we talking about weight, right? Talking about weight. And so that was just another quick reminder of the level of athlete that Jenna was. I mean, you guys can see in the program the accomplishments and just all the meet champions, victories, county, state. I don't know if she lost a meet starting from her junior year in high school. And then for her healthy years at Ohio State, she was dominant throughout that entire conference as well. And it filled me, and still fills me with an immense sense of pride to think about her accomplishments. And one of the things I'm very happy about being a part of this induction ceremony is that my nephew Lyndon and my nieces Elizabeth and Samantha are here to see this. Like, I want them to understand, like, your mom was a big deal, man. Like, she was kind of a big deal. And so I know they're young and they might not remember it, but I know you guys are videotaping or recording or whatever, and so they can understand what Jenna was and what she meant to this town during her time that she came through here. And one other thing that I don't want to leave out is she would go out there and light people up on the track and then go get all straight A's, right? And so the example that she set was truly awesome. Again, I don't want to go on too long, but she let me know the difference between dominance and winning, filled me with an immense sense of pride, and I mean, the only thing that I've seen that kind of matches that pride and how I look up to Jenna is seeing her with my nephew and my nieces and the mother she's become, right? So it was awesome. It was awesome. So I'm very happy to kind of welcome you into this ceremony. I'm gonna pass you the mic now.
First of all, thank God for giving me the abilities and the talent to even get here, to even be recognized and inducted into this Hall of Fame. And thank you for my brother, that was awesome. Thank you for my mom and my aunts and my uncles for being here. Thank you for my coaches, starting with Mr. Wade with summer track, getting me interested. Coach Maya is here. Kind of coming into middle school and kind of recruiting me from middle school to run track in high school. So thank you for all the support there. Thank you to teammates. Joey is here, Jeffrey's here. Just thank you. And one of the things that I do remember that I thought crazy at the time, I thought my coaches were crazy in high school at the time, was just working on speed just to get faster. And they would have me strapped up to a bungee to Joey, who was a future NFL player, or to Jeffrey, who's a future Olympian, just to learn speed. But I thought it was crazy at the time, but I learned how to be faster. So it was kind of pick up your feet, move, or you kind of get dragged by an NFL player or an Olympian. So I learned that, thought it was crazy, but it worked. Got into Ohio State, 4-year scholarship. So it was great. But thank you for everyone for being here. That's it.
All right, moving right along. And thank you, everyone, so far. You've been doing an outstanding job of monitoring the time and the talk. So we're doing excellent. We're doing excellent. So next up is Mr. Joe Porter, and he'll be presented by his brother, big brother, John Porter.
Just want to say thank you, everybody. I'm setting my stopwatch right now. Just to make sure we don't lose the time. Here we go. My sister-in-law, Joy, told me to make sure I speak from the heart. But there has been so much self-reflection from this opportunity that I'll try to do my best. My brother will always tell me, thank you for the support. But I just want to thank you for just allowing me to be part of your journey to the Franklin Hall of Fame. Now when they mention your name, now when they mention the great athletes of our town, they have to mention you as well. Just because of the things that, Jeff did, the things that you did. You guys paved the way for our sons, your nephews. So that's awesome, thank you. As athletes, coaches always say, don't disappoint the man in the mirror. With that comes constant questions, self-conversation. But when you're in constant competition like Joe was, self-reflection is normal. During his high school track season, a reporter would ask, in the county or districts, who was your toughest competition? Joe pointed to his twin. Wasn't quite the man in the mirror, but close. Iron sharp as iron. With competition, always comes questions. We fast forward during his pro day, it would be like the most important day of his athletic career. He had a great sophomore year, 5 interceptions, top 10 in the country. Playing time got depleted his junior and senior year. So this pro day, this was it. There was no other way to get into the league. If you wanted to get into the league, this would be the day that you would have to show up. We had breakfast with some friends. We go to the center to get ready. We do the bench press 21 times at the bench press. We go do vertical. We see one of our teammates. He does the vertical once, comes down. Second time, pops his groin. He's screaming, crying. The whole Hale Center and the bubble is quiet. You can hear every blade of grass move. Next up, we have the 40, which is, this is going to be, this is how we're going to eat. This is the thing right here for Joe. His teammate comes to me and says, PJ, Joe tweaked his hamstring. I am livid, I'm praying, I'm just in utter confusion. But that moment, I looked, I guess I had some worry in my face, and his agent said, PJ, don't worry, he's ready. He said, he's ready, PJ. Spiritually, he's a man of God, so he was ready. Mentally, he watched my mom fight through breast cancer. She would come home sick, and she would still get her master's. And she got a 99 on the test one day, she was mad. Mentally, he was ready. You know what I'm saying? He saw my dad have polio. And my dad had experimental drugs, and that's how he became well. So we would come home with injuries, whatever, and my dad would be like, you're not really hurt. You don't know pain. So mentally, my brother was ready. Physically, he never missed a workout. He never missed a training day. He would do extra workouts. He would work out in the driveway with milk jugs, just to work on his foot speed, to work on his brakes. Because somebody said that he wasn't fast enough. So, he had to work on the starts. He was always doing something extra to get himself ready. So at that point, I knew, PJ, relax, he's ready. Then we'll run 4-2-3. I wanted to pick him up and drag him out the bubble. Like, we're done, we're good. We did everything we're supposed to do. But then more questions, right? With this competition, more questions come. Like, are you ready? Are we ready? So he would go to the Saints, he would get cut, and then he would go to the pro day. He would go to the Green Bay Packers. And the first thing they did at Green Bay was they did a conditioning test. The question is, are you ready? We know you've been cut since August, and here it is, it's November. We just want to see if you've been in shape. Like, have you been working? The first thing he did was, his conditioning test. He called me and says, I'm on the team, no worries. And he made the Green Bay Packers. But, in that moment, you're still asking yourself, like, is he ready? Is he ready? Then I have to think about, the times that he ran track for Franklin and Rutgers. He would drift in the back as a 4x4 and let everybody get up front. And then he would speed up at the end, almost like testing that person's will, testing that person's heart. Like, I know we all fast, but like you want it more than I do. So Joe, this is your moment. You're ready. You've built for this. You've done everything it takes to be here. And I just want to say thank you for letting me be in your moment.
Hey, bro, I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. You have no idea how much I look up to you, and value your advice and your example as a father and a husband. That was really good. All right, try to back that one up. I'm actually humbled, though. Take a look, though. Thank you. I'm actually humbled, though, because, like, I play around a lot, like I play video games a lot, I do different sports. And my kids think I'm the best person in the world, right? Like they think I'm the GOAT, they think I can do anything, right? I don't even think I'm top 5 in this room right now. So don't tell them, they back there, don't tell them. All right, Daddy's the fastest person to ever live. So I really appreciate your secrecy. But like I said, I'm humbled just being up here with Kevin and Jenna, Coach Sanchez, and Ms. Butler, and the team, the men's track team. Like, I'm very humble. I mean, when Nick told me about it at first, back in the summertime, I said, wait, who else is going in? I said, you put me with them? I'm going to wait like another year or two before I'm really ready, right? Because I'm just so honored to be a part of this class and to be a part of the class with you guys. So I really appreciate it, Nick and the rest of the Hall of Fame staff for considering me. You guys have always welcomed me to be a part of your family since we first moved here, and even now, as a teacher in the district, in the school, you guys always welcome me with open arms. You guys kind of forgive my flamboyance, if you will, and I can be like, go around the room. Mr. Wade was our middle school principal, Andrew Smith. He was kind of like a father figure in the school for all of us. Summer track team, Pop Warner. I've been over to Nick's house quite a few times. Lou took me in. And I could Jenna's mom, right? She forgave a lot of stuff that I did coming up. Coach Maya kicked me off the track team one year, let me come back, and I really appreciate it. I don't say it enough as much as I should, but I want you guys to know I really appreciate the love and support you guys have always shown me, and I never forget it. I didn't have this room was crazy because there's Olympians and champions, it's crazy. But I was born with talent. Don't think I wasn't. I did have ability, right? The football field, the track, I could do some things, right? But I didn't have as much talent as say maybe Jenna over here or even Kevin, right? But I want you guys to know, man. Even now as a coach, as a teacher, I want you guys to know, I always mention all of you, Nick, Jenna, Kevin, my brother Jeff, even Chris. Chris, Group has a picture of you in his office, right, from the state championship game, right? Gordine, Coach Stace, I always mention you guys to the kids. You guys have no idea where you come from. It's a speed city. You're champions before you. You guys have no clue. I'm telling you. Coach, you were that was 20 years ago. I'm I don't care. You guys gotta show some respect for the school, right? And I want you guys to know, man. As a coach and teacher, I always try my best. Always try my best. We had a great track team. What was that, 2 years ago? And we were just rolling. We scored 200 points in the county meet. We were just beating the life out of people, right? And I want you guys to know, I always give the kids everything I had. In the classroom, in the track, on the field, I give them everything I had. So I hope you guys are proud because I'm proud to be from here. Thank you.
That's a great thing. Great thing. As a kid, there was a name, Kevin Liles, that I always heard, and I was always in awe. I wasn't the best track runner, but I know I ran for Mr. Wade's track, and I used to see this guy doing these extra workouts, and I just heard somebody say, arms! And it was Kevin Liles working out, and Coach Mack yelling at him. So how fitting, Coach Mack, he's going to present our next inductee, Kevin Liles. So come on down, Coach Mack.
Good afternoon. Good to see the turnout today. It's not only tough weather-wise. I think about our visitors from Florida in particular, including the world champion, who happens to be Kevin's son, the 200 meters. So I'd like to welcome them up here, but rough weather day. Kevin and I go way back. We were both freshmen at Franklin High School at the same time. Now, there's a little bit of a difference, okay? I was a social studies teacher for 43 years at Piscataway High School. At the time, I was coaching at Rutgers as a part-time assistant coach. I got a call from Carl Wade, who ran a track club here in Franklin, and Carl said, do you know anybody that can come over as a head coach? Now here it's already in March. The season's already started. They're going to cancel the program. So I thought about it for a couple of days, and I was well aware of Title IX. For some of you who know about that, it's basically to create some equality between men and women's sports. What they did, okay, what I felt might happen is the way you create equality, you cancel the boys program, you cancel the girls program, okay? That's the way, you know, people who are doing budgets, that's the way they think. Save a buck here, save a buck there, okay? So, I called Carl back and I said, if you pave the way, because I've had some issues with Mr. Dolan and Mr. Shillito, I said, the principal and the athletic director at that time, you know, I will come on board and coach if you can. So, boom, coach. I come in on St. Patrick's Day of 1988, all right? And here I am, a freshman at Franklin High School, freshman coach, in spite of all my years of experience of coaching at Piscataway and at Rutgers. What do we get out? 24 freshmen. Some of them are here in the audience today. Jamal Wade in particular, okay? Louis Solomon, okay? And Kevin Lyles. So, Kevin was a basketball player. So you can imagine, here's this, the weather we're having this weekend is, very often you get that in early March, okay? And the first Saturday we practiced, it was a relatively warm rain, but it was about 52 degrees. And the guy sent Kevin over to negotiate with the coach. Isn't it time to go in? Meantime, we're all soaking wet. So I looked at Kevin and I said, if we go in right now, are we going to be any drier? You know, Kevin and I both wear glasses, so the water's running down inside the glasses. That's how bad it's raining. And he said, no. He's a very intelligent young man. He said, no. He said, we'll still be wet. I said, so why don't we just go ahead and finish the workout? And that really set the tone for not only Kevin, but the rest of the team. The old idea, if you work hard, you know, you keep your nose to the grindstone, you do things properly, not only on the track, but in the classroom and in the school, things will work out. Now, over the 4 years, okay, from our freshman till Kevin's senior year, we went through a lot of experiences, okay? He was only an outdoor track person, but he got that 400 time, that 46.86. I will tell you now, that was not his favorite race, okay? He was the Somerset County champion as a 200-meter runner as a freshman. In his sophomore year, some other athletes came out to the program, and he couldn't make the lineup for the 200 meters to defend his title. He was very hurt. He was very hurt by that. Yeah, Darryl was the top 400 and 200 kid that year. He was only out in his senior year, much like Chris Harris a few years later, who was just up here. But I can tell you, Kevin took it in stride, and he took that 400, okay, to a new level. He set the school record, the county record, one of the top times ever run in the state at that time in 1991, and it helped get him a scholarship to go to Seton Hall, where he really wanted to go and play basketball, okay? But he ended up going and running track and field for 4 years at Seton Hall, and he was an All-American academically, he was an All-American in track, okay? And his coach is here in the audience today, Coach John Moon, who's also a member, a resident of this community. So he's here to honor Kevin. Kevin, is not only a great athlete, but a great person, comes from a great family, and I was honored. We traveled. We went to California to run the Golden West meet. We went out to Blaine, God forsaken Blaine, Minnesota, to run in the under 20 meet. Okay? And so they were great experiences, and Kevin went on to a great collegiate career and also a professional career running for Adidas, where both of his sons run now and are tops in the world. Kevin, come on up.
Thank you, Coach Matt. Daryl Jackson. I want to thank the Hall of Fame committee for inducting me. I want to congratulate all the other inductees. It's an honor to be here with you all. It's an honor to be inducted with you all. Gina, we're the 1989 team. I don't know your name, sir. Ross. Ross, it's an honor. Ms. Sanchez. But, you know, being here, being back in Franklin, I moved away after college, and I only come back during the holidays. So, you know, this is my first time in Franklin High School. But it was great to hear Joe Porter talking about Speed City. And that was our day right there. That long stroke, right? Yeah, that was us. That was us. It was an honor to hear that, and that's still going on. That's still going on. The patriarchs that are in this room, Carl Wade, Coach Mack, and then I'm starting to see some of the young brothers, people who came in after me, continuing that legacy. You know, the Solomons, Nick Solomon doing it here. I'm not great with names, but y'all are doing a big thing and a good thing. You know, show these young people what it's all about. You know, I didn't start off in track. Like Coach Mike said, I came from a basketball family, right? So it was all about basketball. But I had one friend, Lorinda Harper, where she is? Lorinda. She was on the track team, and she was missed everything on the track team. And she's like, Kevin, why'd you come out for the track team? And I was like, summer's basketball. So I would never come out to Coach Wade's summer track team. You know, one day I'm out there, and, you know, I'm out there, like we jumped the fence and, you know, we're playing, because that's what we did. And the track team comes out there, and I'm like, ugh. They're like, you here for the track practice? I'm like, yeah. I'm here for track practice. And you know, that started my journey. Well, no, that actually didn't start my journey. You know, I want to thank my brothers and my family too, because, you know, I got my talent from my mom's side, and, you know, I got my speed from my older brother. You know, my love for running, yeah, that came from him. You know, I learned how to run fast too. My younger brother, he showed me what it was like if you quit, so don't quit. Because if you get caught, there's problems. So I learned my speed and my endurance right there with my brothers. But, you know, I came out to the track team. Like Coach Mike said, they canceled the program my freshman year. So I went and got a job. He came to my job. And was like, Kevin, we need you out there. He didn't, I mean, we had met during the summer track, but it was like, you know, it was summer track. So he came and got me, and I was like, okay, all right. I want to tell you guys something. There's people in your lives that make a huge difference, that change the trajectory of your life. Coach Mack is one of those guys for me. I was lanky. By the time I got to high school, I was 6 foot 120 with glasses bigger than my head. I could play sports, and I was smart. So was I a nerd, or was I an athlete? You know, I didn't really fit in. I didn't feel like I fit in. And when Coach Mack, you know, he put some confidence in me that I didn't have. He had dreams for me that I didn't see in myself. He let me know, you know, that I'll just tell you this one story. So Coach Mack had this big red van. Everybody knows about that van. He took the seats out so we could fit more people in it. It was illegal as all get out. And after track practice, he would take everybody home, right? So he had taken everybody home and he hadn't taken me home yet. So we stopped to get something from Aiden's. Y'all remember that corner store on Hamilton Street? It was across from the bank. It was across from, yeah, it was the Puerto Rican store. So he stopped over there to get something. And we went inside, we got some, he's like, you want something? I'm like, yeah, I'll take something. Of course I'm gonna take something. So we got a soda, snack, whatever. And as we were leaving, he's like, do you know who this is? This is Kevin Miles. He's this and that. He's this and that. And I'm like, me? And then he's telling the guy what I'm gonna do. He's gonna be state champion, he's gonna do this, he's gonna do this. Mind you, this is like freshman year. Like, yeah, I won the county championships, but I had no vision for what where track was gonna take me. Not until that day. Not until that day when he started telling this guy, who we both didn't know, who I was and what I was gonna do, did I really start having a vision for what I wanted to be in track and field. I wanted to be a champion. I wanted to live up to everything he said. The other thing I wanted to be was a coach. After that, I wanted to be a coach because what he put in me, I wanted to put it to other people. I coach now. You know, I coach my kids and I coach any kid that will come within 10 feet of me. I don't care what sport it is. Here, let me help you. You know, because you never know how you're going to change the trajectory of somebody's life. So, you know, you can read in the program all the great things I did, but I'm going to tell you, it was because of that man, because of these people sitting in this room, my teammates, because of the Carl Wades, because of the Nick Solomons, because of all the people who give an effort to make a difference in somebody's life. Thank you.
Mr. Ross Edford, and he'll be presented by our athletic director, Ken Margolin. Where's Ken? All right, so Ross Edford, presented by Ken Margolin.
Welcome everyone, happy Thanksgiving weekend. First and foremost, I want to congratulate all the inductees. It's quite humbling for me. I've been in district about 18 years now, and grew up in New York City, and moved out here with my wife to New Jersey, and found a home in Franklin. And I really, when I started my journey here, I had no idea about the rich history, athletically, academically, socially, of this community. And it's been quite an education. And I'm very thankful that I'm part of the Hall of Fame committee. And each year I learn more about the tremendous people that have come through these doors in Franklin. I want to give a shout out to the committee, because without the work of Darren and Nick and the rest of the committee, this resurgence of this Hall of Fame process never would take place. So thank you, gentlemen and ladies, and it's been an honor to just be part of it. So I met Ross when he came to school here as a freshman back in 2008. He had a brother, and his brother's name was Alex. So I knew Alex, and I had heard about the kid brother that was coming in. And Alex was quite the golfer. And he said, you know, my brother's going to come out and he's going to play a little golf. That's great. Awesome. He came out and he played a little golf. And I didn't realize that back then that we had a diving team in Franklin. And we had it for a long time. And we had a young man that was on this team. So his older brother Alex was the state champ the year before Ross came in. And then Ross, he wasn't having that from Big Bro. So Ross came in as a freshman and dethroned his brother and became the NJSAA state diving champion as a freshman. Sophomore year, he came in and he won it again. NJSAA state diving champion. Junior year, did the same thing. There are 12 state diving champions in New Jersey, some of them Olympians. They've only won the state championship 3 times. He is the only athlete to be a 4-time NJSIAA diving state champion. Only one out of 100 years. So truly amazing, and I don't know a lot about diving, but I know there's a platform, there's a little bathing suit, and there's water. And that's it. Quite an accomplishment. Ross then went on to the University of Denver, academic All-American there, honorable mention, great scholar athlete when he was here, and just a fine young man. A man of not many words, but he let his actions speak much, much louder than his words. Comes from a great pedigree family, brother, sister, dad, and Dad made a great statement today. He said, you know, my son has a record that can only be tied, but it'll never be beaten. So with that, I give you Mr. Ross Edford.
As Mr. Martin said, I'm a man of few words, so I'll try to keep it brief. Also, I'm cold, so for your sake and for mine, I'll keep it short. I think as Mr. Martin had mentioned as well, there was a dive team here. I don't necessarily remember that to be true. I think I was the dive team. So I want to thank the committee, obviously, for the incredible honor. And I want to recognize the fact that diving is a sport too, and among all these stars in other sports, track, football, basketball, softball, you name it, diving is up there as well. And so I appreciate recognition, and I appreciate all the support that I got throughout my high school career, being an athlete in a lesser known sport. So thank you. Thank you so much for the incredible honor, and congratulations to my fellow inductees.
All right, the next inductee will be Miss Sandy Sanchez. She'll be presented by Judy Butler. And I remember Miss Sanchez, she was my Spanish teacher, and I always tell my daughter, ven acá, siéntate. And I learned that from you, because you always tell me in the class to sit down. So, Miss Judy Butler, please come on up so we can introduce Miss Sandy Sanchez.
Sandy Sanchez is a tremendous teacher and a tremendous coach. I wish I had half of the guts to push my girls as much as she pushed hers. Some of them were the same people, and I don't know whether it was recovery when they came to me after having Coach Sanchez or what, but she is an amazing coach. Okay, let's see what we got here. She's a superior motivator, as I started to say. She got her players to perform well beyond what they thought they could do. And I think it's either they were scared to death to let her down, or they realized how much they had within them to achieve. The girls' tennis team and then the boys' tennis team, the same. And one thing I always remember about Coach Sanchez is you could find her, no matter what was the boys' season or the girls' season, running up and down the halls with bananas and bagels so her kids had something to eat the day of a tennis match. So she probably got everybody that played tennis or softball back, just so you know. Most of her players, or many of her players who are here today, which is a tremendous tribute to her. Oldies, they went to school here 100 years ago since I went 200 years ago. Because of her efforts as a coach, one thing that we did not have here was a boys JV tennis team. And when she was the first woman to coach a male sport, when she took over, the sport took off to the point where she had to have a JV team. There was none at the time. And I know that, I won't even mention who the principal was, but she pushed and pushed and pushed to get that JV team to the point where she would go to the door of his office and he'd say, get out of here. But she did get her JV team, and they functioned so well. The Ultimate Warriors, some of you remember the Ultimate Warriors, drug-free athletes. Coach Sanchez and I got this organization together just to do something for our athletes and also give them an excuse not to use drugs and drink if they so chose to do that. But we didn't realize what an impact we would have. We would have meetings once a month and have at least 100 kids here in the gym at night. And some nights we had parents here when we did a parent program. And because of this Ultimate Warriors, Coach and I were invited to work with the Drug Enforcement Agency to develop a program for high school students that was basically an anti-steroid use program. And I think that's still going nationally. I'm not positive. I had to write down all of these awards because I couldn't remember them. Coach Sanchez, Governor Teacher of the Year, Who's Who in American Teachers 2 times, NJSIAA Coaches Hall of Fame, Mid-Atlantic Tennis Coach of the Year, Courier News Coach of the Year 4 times, Trenton Times Coach of the Year, Star Ledger Coach of the Year, Skyland Conference Girls Tennis Champions. Okay, since retirement, she still plays. She plays USTA women's and mixed doubles. She plays on 4 teams on a local level, and her teams have advanced to the South Carolina State Tournament 5 times with her as a player. And she's on the court 6 days a week. On a personal note, coaches learn, as I said before, from going to clinics and from other coaches. I think Coach Sanchez is one of the finest motivators. And she was a motivator for me because I was a tennis coach, a softball coach, and all I knew how to do was swing a bat. And she needed an assistant coach. When I needed an assistant coach, she came and coached freshman softball for me. She needed a coach. Okay, I'll try it. And I learned how to play tennis. And I don't know how to play tennis. I still wouldn't know how to play tennis properly if I had to. But she forced me to learn the game. And it was perfect because then I understood what she does for her students and for her athletes. Okay, let's see. That's enough? You don't want me to tell any stories? No. Okay, without any further ado, I would like to introduce my friend, Coach Sanchez.
So when I walked in here today, floodgates of memories opened, and I was absolutely overwhelmed with so many emotions, especially when I saw my tennis players and Ultimate Warriors that are here today. Right now, I feel as if I should be rushing to the back hallway where I would meet up with my tennis players for practice and for matches, instead of standing here in front of all of you having to give this speech. Being back there is my happy place. Speaking here to all of you is like getting a root canal. So please bear with me as I have to rely on my notes. Before I begin, I would like to congratulate all of my fellow honorees. I have a lot of pages, but it's big print, so I'm not going to be here forever. So much of what I was able to accomplish during my teaching and coaching career was due to the Board of Education, Administration, Athletic Department, and the Booster Club. I hesitate to say this out loud, but I truly was spoiled when I was coaching for 30 years. My program, my players, we never lacked for anything due to the financial and at times the physical support that I received from the aforementioned play groups. Thank you to the induction committee for this tremendous honor. I am humbled to be joining the previous and the current inductees. My gratitude to the parents and to the guardians who were incredibly supportive with their time, their pizza parties, their pasta dinners. I mention time because when we first started the JV program with approximately 20 players, that meant the equivalent of double sessions. This was a volunteer basis because for the coaches, the players, the parents, we would have to begin our practice after the official practices ended. A few coaches who were instrumental in the success with the program were Coaches Lozano, Coach Bernie Batry, who was a parent in this community, Coach Butler, and Coach Claire Spilly. Lastly, I need to thank my managers. They had a key role in the tennis program. On paper, Franklin, by some, may not be thought of as a typical hotbed of tennis talent. We are not a moneyed community which is synonymous with a sport like tennis. Our players did not have private lessons or have tennis courts in their backyards. But what we did have was far richer and more empowering. We weren't the best in the state, we didn't break records, but my players were never afraid to compete against any team or opponent who was in the top ranking in the state. During my 30 years of coaching, during the state tournaments, we knocked off many state-ranked teams. That was sweet. They were fighters, scrappers. They were committed to their team, to their program. Whether it was in practice or in a match, they never used words like can't, tired, or this is difficult. You know, when I worked on what I wanted to say, share with you, the most important aspect was my desire to somehow capture, to share my players' spirit, their essence, their personalities, to let you know about their passion for the sport, their determination, their resilience, their tenacity, their fierceness, their raw talent. I guess if you saw them play, even for a few moments, you would have seen that. Simply put, they are Franklin Warriors. For the 30 years that I coached them, they were an influence in my life. And I believe that they helped make me a better person. So thank you for allowing me to reminisce, maybe ramble, to share with you about some very, very special people, my tennis players.
All right, we're down to our team that's being inducted to our second annual Hall of Fame ceremony. That is the 88-89 men's track team. And luckily we have our coach here. We're going to ask him to come back up and we share a story or two about the 88-89 track team. Come on down, coach.
When I introduced Kevin earlier in the program, one of the things that I wanted to clear up a little bit was we had something happen which is not uncommon for Franklin, because Franklin Township is a community which it's rated among the top communities in the nation to raise children in. Okay, and we have a good school system here. Okay, sometimes I think it gets less than favorable reviews, but I'll tell you, my daughter went through Franklin High School, and she went from Franklin High School to Georgetown, and she was out of there in 4 years, and she was a track and field athlete. But as far as the 1988 team that we had, when Kevin and some of the young men that are here now were freshmen, we had an okay season. We didn't have a full training season. So what we ended up doing was, I think our dual meet record was 3-5 that year. probably the most significant big meet accomplishment was to finish second in the Somerset County Championship, where I mentioned earlier that Kevin won the 200 meters. He was the 200-meter Somerset County champion. Now, in the fall of 1988, my assistant coach at that time, Ray Horn, who's also in the Franklin Hall of Fame, okay, I used to drop by a couple days a week to check on the guys and see how they were doing, all right? And my daughter was running freshman cross country with Coach Terrell's team. By the way, Coach Terrell and I got quite close, okay, because what happened in the fall was a young man transferred from Bordentown Regional High School to Franklin High School. His name was Clinton Bell. I happen to have, he also went to Seton Hall on a full scholarship. And in fact, on the media guide from 1992-1993, there's a picture on the bottom here. Okay, I may pass that around. Hopefully I'll get it back. Kevin Lyles is handing the relay stick off at the Penn Relays to Clinton Bell, because they were both teammates not only at Franklin, but here at Franklin High School. Okay, Clinton was an athlete that could step on and win 3 races in a dual meet. He could win and the 3 races were the 3,200, which is a 2-mile race, the 1,600, which is a metric mile race, and the 800, which is a half-mile race. Mr. Wayne and I come from an era where we talk about quarter-milers and half-milers and milers, okay, because everything was done in the English system, not the metric system, which is, of course, now the standard. Okay, but Clinton came in, and that winter, I went to Mr. Dolan, who was the athletic director, and said, let's, you know, upgrade the indoor track and field program so that it accommodates everybody. It had essentially been for the elite athletes, so a guy like Darren Roberts could go win the state championship. They didn't run many meets, they just trained and appeared at the state meets. So Mr. Dolan didn't know what he was in for, because when you start going to some of these indoor meets, they want entry fees, $2 or $3 an athlete, so it cost a pretty penny before it was all over. And I know Dolan said to me, what'd you get me into, you know? So I said, well, we'll see. So Clinton Bell comes in, he runs, I watched him run a JV cross-country race, because Coach Horn didn't want to put him in a varsity race, because he wasn't with the team long enough, he was only here about a week. And Clinton won the JV race in Somerset County. He ran the whole race on the balls of his feet, which is unheard of for a distance runner. And he was a long strider. In fact, his teammates used to call him Daddy Longlegs. You know? So during the indoor meet, I kept telling him, and Coach Terrell worked on the mental attitude and everything else. Terrell was the head coach, and we worked extremely well together. Terrell had a video business, he videotaped. We went up to East Stroudsburg, and we won a distance medley race, and the coach ran down and said, they ran a lap short, they didn't run a full race. Terrell had it on a videotape. They stopped the meet, they went up, they showed the whole 10 minutes of the distance medley. We won the race. And I told the guys on the team, we can win the state championship. And that was the first state championship ever won by a Franklin High School track and field team, boys or girls. We won the indoor state relays in Group 3 that year, okay? That set us up for the outdoor season, where we just, the county and the conference did not see it coming, okay? We just absolutely dominated. The first 2 meets in the spring are your relay meets, the county relays, the conference relays, okay? We win those. We go out to the individual meets in May, county and conference, we win that. And something that hadn't been done in a long time here at Franklin High School, since I think the 1970s, we won the Group 3 Central Jersey Championship. And that was done with a bunch of athletes who were guys who came out for the first year, like Darryl was a senior, okay, Andrew. Kevin Kelly was involved with the team, Jimmy Garback, okay. Chris was pretty much a marathoner part of our program here, you know, great distance runner, okay. Louis Solomon, state championship quarterback on a football team. What event did he run? He didn't. He was a 155-pound shot and disc person, okay. Got points run You never hear of a guy 155 pounds tossing that shot over 50 feet, and that's what he did, okay? Jamal Wade, okay? And a lot of the guys who we don't have, in fact, Clinton's not here today, or Jason Galicchio, a lot of those guys who contributed to that team. But my hats are off to them. They were sophomores, they were first-time seniors, all right? And they understood the value of hard work and focus. And when they heard Coach Mack holler at them, "Go to your arms," when I hollered at the people said, "Well, you hollered at your athletes." No, I didn't coach negatively. All right, I hollered for them because I wanted them to come home strong, and that became the mark. And we dominated the county and the conference that year, and we shocked the track and field world in this area. Okay, you know, Piscataway had dominated us the year before in the spring. They couldn't compete with us. We had gotten that much stronger, you know, in 1989. And that set the program ahead. In fact, 2 years later, the girls win 3 indoor championships over a 2-year period. The boys in the indoor team won boom. And we, out of the 10 years that I coached here, we won that state sectional championship. Boys in Group 3, 5 years out of the 10. All right, and then in 1997, we won the Group 3 championship. And so it became incremental. You know, each team stood on the shoulders of the team from the year before. And that tradition is continuing with Coaches Porter and Coaches Modine. And I'm really proud of them. And they know I am, because I've spoken to them. That kind of continuation becomes singularly important. All right, I'd like to have that 1989 team stand up, please. Have them come up. Chris Kelly, Luke Jackson, Kyle Jackson, Kevin Kelly, Louis Solomon, Jamal Wade, Kevin Lyle, Wayne Duke. The anniversary of that team winning that All Championship will be 30 years this coming spring. They got all of our business. The captain. Coach Matt. Coach Matt.
I have no idea what to say to you guys. It's been a lot to hear from so many athletes, so many people that have contributed to the legacy here in Franklin. And what you see here today is just the consistency. The consistency from us being pretty young kids out there, and you start to hear names. So who gets us first? Well, that would be Carl Wade. Where are you, Mr. Wade? If Mr. Wade and Stacy Fields didn't grab me because I talked junk to their athletes on the track because my sister ran, I would have never ran track ever. But you know, I gave it to them, they gave it back, they challenged me, I responded, and this is what it turns into. If you go to Franklin, if you're from Franklin, you got to know your history here. You have to know the people that came before you. You have to know Carlos and Darren Roberts. You have to know Coach Tyus. You have to know anybody and everybody who was an athlete here that contributed to your success. So you have to know your teachers. Ms. Sanchez was a teacher for a lot of us, and we appreciate what you did for us, first and foremost in the classroom, because you build a foundation for us to succeed there so that we can go outside and put that extra work in, like Mr. McCluskey was talking about, and make sure that the things that we did in the classroom translated so that we can go outside and perform for you guys. It's an honor to be here, and I just want to pass it to some of my teammates because they have a lot to say.
First, I want to say thank you. It is an honor to be amongst but I want to key on one thing real quick, something that Kevin Lyle said. about changing the trajectory of individuals. That senior year for me was a tremendous year because there was some trouble that I was getting into that I didn't really know my direction in life. And I had met some people, some that were my family, some that were extensions from my family, that was getting ready to push me down the wrong path. And one day, just out of nowhere, my senior year, hadn't ran track at Franklin at all, Kevin comes to me and he said, yo, why don't you run track with us? So I said, okay, you know, I only made the decision. My father ran track at Franklin. He had a record there at Franklin. So I decided to run my senior year, first time running track at Franklin High School. And we had a marvelous year. It changed my life. I went to college on a scholarship from that one year. So it really changed my life. It changed the trajectory. So I want to encourage you, if you have kids that, you know, that are going through the school system, get them involved. It can change their life. You don't know what can happen to your child just by them being involved in a sport, especially at a school like Franklin High School. These are some great guys. And I love the year, and I will never forget that year of my life. It's been great. We became so close together in that one year. We did some great things, won some great races. And Coach Mack, unbelievable. I wish I had him coaching me through my college career as well. Right. He got me to where I was and to all of us. So he pushed us to further than we even thought we could ever go. And when we thought we were done, we thought we had puked up all our guts on the track. Guess what? We went back out. It snowed 3 feet on the track. We got shovels, we shoveled the track, and we ran. That's what Mac did with us. And it made us great. It made us great warriors.
I just want to say I'm so honored to be inducted into the Hall of Fame with these great athletes and these great gentlemen. That 89 year was something special. And like you said, Coach Mack pushed us. I mean, you can't hear me? I mean, he pushed us. I mean, it was raining outside, and he would make us run in the hallway. All you would hear was, go to your arms, use your glutes. He was always pushing us. And he showed us hard work. He showed us how to, you know, how to be great. So I appreciate that, and I appreciate being here. I'm so honored and blessed. You guys want to say anything?
Yeah, I just want to say one more thing. I'm being inducted into Hall of Fame, but there's a guy that I always tell everybody I ever come in contact with, you know, he humbled me because he was one of the greatest athletes that came up through here. That was Karan Henderson. Right. He would dust me daily. I mean, he would go past me talking about read him. He talked about his numbers. Putting stuff on his shoes, you know, so I can read it as he ran his hands. I may have gone on to college and done all these things, but Karan Henderson, he was a real champion.
Right. So when you say Steve City, you're looking at him. Thank you, everybody.
The 88-89 team, one thing that we would like to do is make sure, I just want to make sure if you're here, I want to know that you're here, so if there's members on the team that weren't able to come today, we want to know who they are so we can get their pins to them. So you can just pass this around. If you don't see your name on here, write it. If you do see your name, check it or something, okay? Thank you.
As I sit down,
you got it right there.
What an awesome gathering of athletes, coaches, teammates. Give everybody a round of applause. There's a couple of announcements on the way out. All our individual inductees, your picture and a centerpiece is out on the table for you to take. So on the way out. Also, I'll be leaving some cookies and food if anybody wants to grab them on the way out as well. One last time, I want to recognize our Athletic Hall of Fame committee. Can you guys stand up? to all of us that you guys take part in that. Our last part of the program is our 50-50 and our closing remarks by our athletic director, Mr. Ken Martin.
Brooklyn up.
Just a quick thought. It's an overwhelming job and responsibility to elect people and induct people into the Hall of Fame. And again, a lot of people here have that knowledge base. So if you think that someone hasn't been recognized yet, or there's somebody that's off the radar, please drop a note, an email, a phone call to members of the committee so we can do the right thing and recognize those people. So please do that. Mr. Plummer, who's going to come up and pull the ticket?
Young man right here. Come on up.
Okay, young man, what's your name?
Lyndon.
Lyndon, are you married? All right, Lyndon, now I'll put it on the floor for you. Now here's the trick, okay? I want you to just pull out one. Okay, you can pull out one ticket, and then you can give it to Mr. Plummer, and Mr. Plummer's going to read it, okay? Close your eyes. Just pick one. Okay, now go give that to Mr. Plummer. Mr. Plummer's going to read it.
The only name it has on it is Millman. Who's Millman?
That's the Millman family. Millman family.
Millman family. Okay, well, let's give it up for the Millman family.
The Millmans have a couple of boys that play football for us, and they have a couple other that came through the system. Again, I want to thank everybody for coming out. You'll see us again here next year. Again, there's food on the way out. And again, we're so proud for all our inductees. Nice round of applause again for all our inductees, family, and friends. God bless and hope to see you again next year. Thank you.
This is Rebecca Solomon.
Original speech. You guys started great.
I had seen y'all had a runner.
He's still here, man. That's stop. He's still here.
He was running fast. I was like, I was looking at I was like, right?
Yeah.